We welcome to our microphones the winner of the San Francisco International Stand-Up Comedy Competition. He holds a master's degree in electrical engineering from Stanford University. Ladies and gentlemen, Don McMillan.
Hey there, and welcome to Comedy from Home. I am your host, Don McMillan, and you were just listening to Larry King, yes, the Larry King, introduce me as a guest on his national radio show on September 11th, 1991. Yes, 30 years ago, I was a guest on the Larry King Show. And Larry, as you probably know, passed away today at age 89. And today is just a tribute to Larry King. I had always been a fan of Larry King. I still am a fan of Larry King. He changed broadcasting. He changed how interviews happened. He was such a good interviewer. He helped start and form CNN as we know it today. And they paid tribute to him all day today. So I thought in today's show, I would pay tribute to Larry King. And I want to tell you the story about how I ended up on his show because it is so Larry King-ish. In 1991, I had just won the San Francisco stand-up comedy competition, which to me was huge. It was something I'd strove for years. It was really hard, and I won. I was thrilled that I won, and it would happen to be on Monday of Labor Day weekend. And the very next week, Larry came to town to do his national radio show. It was the National Association of Broadcasters, and he did a show live from the San Francisco Marriott. So I thought in my engineering head, well, maybe they'd be interested in my story. So I called down and I happened to get a producer on the phone. I'm not sure you could do that today, but I did. And I told her my story and she passed it on to Larry. And she said when Larry heard that a computer engineer from Silicon Valley was now the funniest person in San Francisco, he had to meet me. He couldn't imagine how an engineer could be funny. So he had me on the show. He had no idea who I was. He just heard that story, thought it would be interesting, and he had me on the show. Right there, I can't thank Larry King enough for taking a flyer on me. He had no idea if I was funny or not, but he had me on the show. And it was absolutely wonderful. It was fun. There was a live studio audience there who were laughing. We had live laughs. Larry was laughing. We took questions, and that was fun. So today I am just playing the interview. It's about 12 minutes long. It's just an audio interview because it was for the radio. But I thought you'd enjoy it, and it was my thank you and my remembrance of Larry King, who gave me this huge break. I mean, next to winning the San Francisco Comedy Competition, this was the second biggest thing that ever happened in my life, and it was just so funny. He was such a great interview. He immediately made me feel at home. We just had a conversation, and that's why Larry was so good. So today, I hope you just enjoy Larry King and remember him because he really, really was a great broadcaster. So, Larry, thank you for all you do. We're thinking of you today. We miss you. I loved what you did. I loved being on your show, and we'll miss you. So, enjoy. Here's to you, Larry.
What is the International Stand-Up Comedy Competition?
This is a competition that's held every year right here in San Francisco, but attracts comics from everywhere, four corners of the world, as a matter of fact.
And where do they hold it at?
It's held in the Bay Area at several different locations.
All amateurs?
No, actually, they're all working comics. Usually not somebody you'd heard of, because those people really, they've established themselves. This is usually people are working, very well known in the comedy circuit, but perhaps that you haven't heard of it.
And who judges them?
It's a variety of people. They have radio personalities. They have booking people. They have industry talent people from LA that come up for the finals. It's really a wide range of judges as well as comics.
How many times does the comic have to appear to be a winner?
Overall, I did 18 shows over the period of 3 weeks.
Does it eventually get down to the finals of 3 guys?
It's 5 guys in the finals. It starts out, actually, about 3 months ago, there were about 5,000 comics, I think, that were trying to get on. Literally, there was a line around San Francisco of people who thought they could be funny. And they narrowed it down to 40 4 weeks ago, and then there's quarterfinal rounds and semifinal rounds, and then the final round, and if anybody who's standing at the end is, even if they say anything funny, they're the champion.
Is the winner on the final night, is it based on a meter?
Yeah, actually, it's based on the swimsuit competition. And I was the tallest, lankiest one out there, so they gave it to me.
Well, Don, this could be a tremendous boost for your career, but one would guess that holding a master's degree in electrical engineering from Stanford might hold some weight for you.
Oh, yeah. But really highly scored technically on the judge's card.
No, what I mean is...
Oh, I'm sorry.
What do you want to be?
I didn't realize I was speaking with my dad.
Yeah, I got a blue-eyed, red-haired kid. Okay.
No,
What do you want to be?
that's a very good question, sir.
Well, I asked it, Don.
I was, you're good at this. Actually, this is like a rebirth for me. You know, I was doing engineering for 8 years. I was a chip designer, integrated chip designer. Really.
You designed those little chips?
That's what I did. I have chips all around the country that have been designed by a comic. That's going to scare a lot of people right about now. I used to work for AT&T Bell Labs. Pretty much, if your phone went bad, blame it on me. But I was reborn when I started doing comedy. It's a totally different life for me, and it's a great one. I mean,
you're a born-again comic?
I am a born-again comic. That's right.
In other words, if this career starts to spiral, let's say you start getting attention, you go on Letterman and those are the shows to do, and Tonight Show, you would give up chip design.
I actually already have. I haven't done it in 2 years. I gave it up 2 years ago.
Why did you spend all that time, and why did you bother going for a master's if it wasn't your first love?
You don't know what you want to do in high school. I knew I was real funny in high school, but I was really good at math. So, nobody goes, geez, he's funny, he can do math. Stand-up comedy. That's what we just said.
No, but I mean, most guys who are funny aren't good at math, right?
Very few. In fact, I was the only one who understood the scores every night of the competition. I had to explain to people, I'm like, no, look, you see, your number's lower than mine.
Okay, but I mean,
therefore you didn't do as well as I did.
You got a master's from Stanford.
I did.
Well, I mean, that's that's a contradiction to the typical. I mean,
well, I had to take a
picture Milton Berle got a master's in electrical engineering from Stanford. Come on.
He'd be the most popular engineer from Stanford, probably, but no, I had to take exception because you kept being so amazed that somebody with an electrical engineering degree could be funny. You were saying it like
most engineers are not funny. Come on. Have you met engineers?
Well, no, actually, I used to work with them. I'd come in the office, they'd all be like gathered around a computer terminal going, look at this, when Bob logs on, the screen fills with Schrodinger's equation.
That's right.
They would die with that. They would think that was the funniest thing in the world.
That's right. What turns an engineer on?
Well, you see, that big joke was, it was wrong. The equation was wrong. They would die. Look, it's supposed to be pi over 2, not 2 pi. Oh, I'm such a kidder. Oh. They would love that.
Okay, but you obviously have a great sense of humor. You're funny. Were you able to bring that sense of humor to electrical engineering?
Oh, actually, that was probably as an engineer, that was my most successful period as an engineer, because they started letting me do presentations and things. And I'd get up in front of these 500 technical guys and start doing these off-the-wall comments. And first they'd sit and be shocked, and then they'd really be into it. I mean, they would really start paying attention to me, and I would pick on everybody, IBMs, the AT&Ts, everybody. And
they tell us the style of humor, because I imagine we're going to start to be hearing a lot of you, and the audience is enjoying you, and you're very funny. What approach? Do you have an approach that you take? How would you describe the way you perform?
I'm fairly physical, and I have pretty striking physical features, I've been told. For those of you at home, I pretty much look like what would happen if Howdy Doody and Lurch had a kid. That's pretty much what I look like. I'm 6'5" and red-haired, so some people are getting weird visions at home right now. They're just going, oh my God, what the hell would that be?
And you do physical humor? You fall,
occasionally, not on purpose usually, but I do occasionally fall. I am a klutz. I'm 6'5". I fall. I hit my head a lot.
Is that the act, that you are a klutz?
No, actually, that's how sort of I open, because people immediately deal with how the way I look. And then,
all right. The night you won the competition.
Yes.
This was the finals.
Right.
What was your strong suit? What was your opener?
My opener was talking about that. Well, this is going to be hard to see at home, but I also look like the guys in gas stations that you ask directions from. If you've ever seen.
Yeah, you do.
You do, don't I? Yeah. It's kind of a really nice thing. I look like a Gomer type, pretty much.
That's right. You look like the guy in the gas station. People ask directions.
Yeah. See, so people immediately associate that with me, and then I do a lot of face things. I just talk about pretty much everything. I talk about engineering a lot, actually, in my act.
You do?
The night of the finals, I talked about. Well, I just talked about the school I went to. I went to Stanford undergraduate. I went to a school called Lehigh University.
Famous school, Pennsylvania, right?
Yeah, and you're a big sports fan. Do you know what our mascot was?
Lehigh's mascot is what is it?
It's an engineer. That was supposed to strike fear into the hearts of our competitors. My God, he can solve simultaneous equations. Run! Our scoreboard went to 3 decimal places, Larry. Our quarterback yelled signals in binary. 1-0-0-1-1-0. It took forever. 1-0-1-1. We lost one game by Avogadro's number. That's a blowout, if you don't know. See, engineers can be funny, Larry.
That's right. Was the Lehigh a good school?
Oh, it was a great school. I really loved it, actually.
Was Stanford equal to its reputation?
It was okay.
Was Lehigh better?
I actually thought so. Yeah, I did. I'll be honest with you. I thought I learned more at Lehigh than I did at Stanford.
Okay, when we come back, we'll take some questions for Don McMillan. You can ask any question, obviously. You can go anywhere you want with this. You can ask directions, or you can ask about designing a computer chip. This is Larry King in San Francisco, back after these messages. With us is Don McMillan. He is the winner of the San Francisco International Stand-Up Comedy Competition. He holds a master's degree in electrical engineering from Stanford University. We'll include some questions from the audience. The lady in pink.
Hi, Don. I was at the Warfield the night you won the competition, and I picked you.
Really?
My date didn't, but I picked you.
Is he here tonight?
No, he's not here tonight.
Thank God.
But anyway, first of all, I want to say that you don't need to tell the audience to get used to your face because you're very cute.
Oh,
so you
thank
can take that out of your ass.
I usually say that at the beginning. I say, take a few moments, get used to my face. So,
well, you have a long, oblong face.
I do. It's actually in 2 zip codes.
Anyway, my question is, who of the other comics would you have picked as the winner if you had not won?
Oh, boy, you're setting me up there, aren't you? They're all equally funny.
What did your parents think of this switch in your careers?
My mom was just thrilled. Let me tell you, she used to introduce me to people. Listen, my son Don, he used to design microcomputers that could do 9 million calculations a second. Now he writes fart jokes. Can I say that?
What about your father?
My dad was an engineer, so he's having a little more trouble with it, actually. He's having a little, he's fun. He's actually real happy with it now. That I'm successful, he's very happy.
The gentleman.
Yes, sir. Could you give us a little preview, or not a preview, but what you did when you talked to your fellow engineers when you made your presentations?
Yeah, what would you talk about? Like, how would you make that funny?
Well, actually, I used to be a designer, and one of the speeches or talks that I gave was on design tips. And
Design tips.
Right, exactly. Things to avoid when you're doing integrated circuit design. But I did it as Pope John Paul VI, top 10 design tips. That's how I did it. I did the whole thing sort of Letterman-esque, actually. And boy, did that shock them. They're like, this guy's supposed to be a designer, and he's doing this goofy stuff.
You would do it like a pope?
I did it more like Letterman giving the Pope's design tips.
All right, give me like a design joke that would have cracked them up. Part of a top 10 list that,
okay.
Engineers would have fallen down, kill them.
Okay. Kill them. They would just pretty much love this if you said something like, farads? I meant picofarads. They'd just be on the ground pretty much.
What is a farad?
It's a unit of capacitance, Larry. God, I'm surprised you didn't know that.
When you design chips,
yes.
Is there any particular chip you're particularly proud of? Of all your chip designs?
There's one that was kind of neat. I did a lot of microcomputer stuff and a lot of things that in your PCs, but one I did that went in it was a controller chip that went in the foot pedal that's used for electronic guitars. So it was like really famous guitar players could be stepping on my design, and that made me feel great. I really did. It's a company called DOD, and I did it.
Kind of a kooky world, that world, isn't it? Chips and computers.
Boy, those people really, they're under a lot of pressure, and they're different people.
They are. The gentleman.
Yes, most stand-up comedy clubs have almost entirely abandoned open mic competitions. How does the amateur or stand-up comedian get a start?
Well, they haven't banned them. There's not as many as there used to be. When I started, which was about 5 or 6 years ago, there used to be one every night of the week. You could go anywhere and do comedy, and I've done comedy in Chinese restaurants, laundromats. I did comedy from table to table in a restaurant once. They had a comedy menu, and they would order the jokes that they wanted, and we'd go to their table and do their jokes. I'm serious. We did that, and you could do that in this area, and now they're out there. They're just harder to find. The joke du jour. You're laughing. I'm serious.
Wait a minute. This is not a put-on.
No, I'm honest to God serious.
Okay, how would it work? We sit down, and the waiter comes over and says, "Good evening,"
and they would give him a food menu, and they'd say, "We also have some comedy people here. Here's the comedy menu." And we had a
What
menu.
would be on the menu? It'd say Don McMillan does electric jokes.
It was actually, I had some people, my friend Dan Scow, who's here, and some other comedian friends of mine, and we would do skits and sketches based on their suggestions. We would do some improv comedy. And they would say, say, okay, give us a director, and Woody Allen. We do a little sketch, bring their food to him as Woody Allen. Oh, you didn't really want this, did you? You really shouldn't eat that. It's not very good for you. Really, you're just going to get fat if you eat this. Here you go. You know, it was just fun like that. I'm not an impressionist, but that was Woody Allen for
this is only in San Francisco, right?
Yes, this is a unique area that you can do stuff. And
Did you picture this in Des Moines, this restaurant working?
The best part was it was a Holiday Inn that this restaurant was in, and we had little name tags that said Holiday Inn, Don McMillan, comic. It was the funniest thing. I still have it at home. I'm so proud of that. I was afraid I'd be killed in a car accident someday. They'd say Holiday Inn comic, Don McMillan, killed in car accident.
The gentleman.
What makes you happier, being an engineer or a comic?
Geez, I knew there'd be a Jewish guy here tonight.
You're from Miami.
What makes you happier?
There's a tough question. Do I want to work 13 hours a day staring at a computer screen with no notoriety, or work 45 minutes a night telling jokes in front of people? I don't know which I like better. Comedy wins out big time. I love it. I really do.
We'll be right back with Don McMillan, the winner of the San Francisco International Stand-Up Comedy Competition, after these messages.
Now, back to Larry.
With a very talented guy, Don McMillan. You're going to be hearing a lot about him and hopefully seeing a lot of him. He's the winner of the San Francisco International Stand-Up Comedy Competition, and he holds a master's degree in electrical engineering from Stanford, undergraduate degree from Lehigh. And at the top of the hour, Bill Levick and Jay Geither of Birch and Arbitron will talk about reading services, and then automobiles, and Eddie Money later, B.B. King tomorrow night. The gentleman there for Don McMillan.
Don, when you're doing the comedy competition, are you doing several different monologues over the course of the competition, or are you essentially working with one
Yeah, do you repeat?
You can repeat because there's different judges and different crowds every night, but I tend to do shift it around depending on where I was, because it really does move a lot. We were up in Marin County one night, we were in Saratoga another night. It's completely different crowds, and I would move it around.
I mean, it's enough pressure the pressure of being a stand-up comic and to make people laugh. That's enough pressure. Now you have the added pressure of being in a competition.
Yeah, that's
I mean, it's kind of like Miss America. You're standing backstage looking at each other.
Yeah, and you're trying to. I mean, in this field especially, you need to be supportive of each other. It's an art field, and still it's a competition, so it makes for a kind of an eerie feeling. But these guys were incredibly supportive. All the finalists, really, and I'm not saying this, but they really were. But
you're working tonight, right?
Yes, I am.
Where are you appearing?
I'm at the Punchline in Walnut Creek in about 30 minutes, actually. These people are laughing because they know that that's not possible legally.
The Punchline in Walnut Creek.
Yes.
The lady.
Don, in the world of mines, we all knew or supposedly know what canaries are used for. In the world of computers, what is a canary?
This is like a quiz.
Is it a quiz?
Well, canary is if there's any potentially lethal gas in the computer room, the canary will die first, I believe.
No, she means something else. What is it?
I have no idea.
Is it a bird, or is it a man, or what is it?
Is it a computer term, ma'am?
Yes, the people that I've heard it over and over, people that work, they'll say, I'm a canary.
I think you're talking to really strange people, ma'am. Do they come up and say, is the water warm?
Do computers talk now, right?
Yes, they do.
There's crazy little things on computers. They're like animals that run around and do things.
Oh, yeah,
right?
They can eat the screen and stuff.
They eat the screen. I saw this at CNN.
Yeah.
All right. How can you help me? And I don't want to get that personal, but I'm frightened of them. I don't like computers.
Really?
I don't like fax machines. I don't like instantaneous anything. I'm not sure I like FedEx. No, I used to like mail. And I'll mail it to you.
Mail. Yeah.
How can you? I'm computer frightened.
You're computer frightened.
Am I wrong?
Yeah, you're wrong. It can't do anything. It won't do anything you won't tell it to do, Larry.
Yeah, but it determines our lives, doesn't it? The pilot on the plane said today what time he was going to land. The computer told him that, didn't it?
Probably.
You could have designed that chip.
Oh, that's a scary thought right there.
I was on a plane today with a pilot depending on something you designed.
And all of a sudden the screen came up. Knock, knock.
The gentleman.
Do you think that San Francisco is one of the best cities to start as a comedian?
I get to travel around a lot, and it's a great place to start. I think it's the best. I work back east quite a bit and down in L.A., and there's just so many venues, and the crowds are so intelligent around here.
They are. It's a sophisticated, hip crowd, a lot of young people.
So many people other comics come to this town and are just amazed at what they can do, the material and how it's respected.
Does the town have many gay comics?
There's a gay comedy community. Yes, there's several.
And do they do gay humor?
Yes, they do. Several of them talk about it. And again, this city is so open to anything you need to talk about.
Were you working the night of the earthquake?
No, I wasn't. I was sitting in my apartment watching the Giants-A's.
What was that feeling like?
The earthquake feeling?
Yeah. I've never had.
I live in the marina, which was.
Oh, you were right there.
I was in my apartment, and it was simply the scariest thing I ever lived. Actually, I have a bachelor pad, so it kind of straightened up our all the newspapers actually ended up in one pile. It was kind of spooky.
It must feel like forever, right?
It seemed like it was hours, and it was only, 15 seconds?
Yeah.
And this is a true story. This is going to be funny, but I was holding onto the door, and I was actually thinking, okay, if the building falls this way, I'm going to hold on this way, and if it falls that way, I'm going to hold on that way.
Is there a lot of sound?
There's a tremendous, huge rumbling sound, and then there's your bowels letting go, and that's a real big... That's a huge, big sound.
Does your electrical engineering background help you at all? Or do you know that it'll only last 15 seconds?
Oh, yeah.
The basic circumference features. In other words, the brighter you are, is it necessary that the better you handle the earthquake?
Not at all. The brighter you are, the quicker you realize you can die, I think. You realize the possibilities. I had no idea. I was totally panicked. The first thing I did was run out of the apartment without any shoes on, and there's broken glass everywhere. That's how bright I was. And then actually helped evacuate my building because there was all kinds of people that were...
Is anyone back there, Pat? No, I can't spot. Does anyone have a last quick question because we're going to wrap it up? Okay, what do you want to do, Don? What's your hope? You want to be on a sitcom? You want to...
For now, actually, my short-term goal is to be the very best stand-up comic I can be, and then long-term is to make a career out of being creative and making people laugh. And if that's a sitcom or movies or whatever, that's what I want to do.
You've yet to have national television exposure?
No, I have not been on national television. I've been on cable. I've been on Evening at the Improv and MTV Half Hour Comedy Hour. But
boy, somebody's got to discover you at Letterman or Carson, and obviously HBO. I think you're ready.
So does my mom. You and her have something in common.
Best of luck, Don.
Oh, thank you very much, and thanks for having me on the show.
Make your gig.
I will.
Don McMillan, ladies and gentlemen. Boy, funny guy.